Discretion is advised.
Whoa, we have a show, I think, with no audio issues. I double think. I don't know. Guys, I might have figured it out. I don't really know because I'm not listening to the audio, but I hope I got it figured out. Bertha was possessed last week, so if you had the pleasure of being around for that, sorry in advance. Guys, it's Thursday. I don't know what date it is because I don't even remember what I had for breakfast, but it's Thursday, and this is episode 212. You are listening to Pwnecast, and we are for what I'm pretty sure is another couple of weeks, month and a half in patch 7.3.5. Tonight is the night, guys. We have with us the very elusive, the very educated, the very automatic. No? Is that not? Okay, guys, I really ruined that. It just is what it is. But we are going to be sitting down and picking the brain of the MDI casting extraordinaire, the one and only Mr. Automatic Jack. We're going to pick his brain regarding all the PvE things. He should be an inside guy, right? Like, he sees stuff we don't know. Maybe he could help us be better. Maybe he could help me be better. We have BFA news to talk about. I have a really good what to do in WoW this week where I'm focusing on getting your guild ready for BFA. Rem's talking about something lore-related, story stuff. You know, the things that Belle doesn't pay attention to because I don't. Guys, it's just not my thing. Not everybody's built for that. And we are going to be talking about the BFA comic that was released this week. So I hope you guys checked it out, Jaina's Reunion. We're going to talk about it. I might have some things to say. I'm not really sure, but I really hate Jaina's monologuing, so, like, it's whatever. You guys are going to hear a rant. But, I mean, being negative is kind of what I do, so are we surprised? Anyway, we have a lot to talk about, so make sure you guys grab a drink, get comfortable, and don't leave, because then I'm going to have to come back and get you.
You have crossed into the world of the dead in search of answers.
Amongst the Azeroth elite, there are those who defy convention, the proud who laugh in the face of trolls and never flinch, the few who strive on unity, trust, and unwavering resolve, they who eat tacos. For the players, by the players, we bring you. She can start a revolt with a chaos bolt, Belle the Pwnecast Vanguard. Through light and darkness, he commands the void, Remedies the sage lore master. We bow to no one. We are Legion. We are Pwnecast.
We are. Guys, I'm going to mute these fine gentlemen that are sitting here so well behaved. Like, you're the most well-behaved guest we've ever had during the intro. I'm, like, impressed.
I didn't even know what was going on. I was just like,
yeah, it's okay.
I don't know where they're going to ask the questions.
I don't know what's going on ever, and that's okay. Welcome back. If you are new to Pwnecast, I am Belle, and with me is my co-host with the Loremost, Remedies. And joining us tonight is the very newly graduated MDI caster, Mr. Automatic Jack. So now you're educated.
Mm-hmm.
Does this come with a pay raise or debt?
Not too much crippling debt or anything like that. I did community college, so I'm gonna be, I'm gonna be a lot better off than some of my classmates. I'll say that much.
What is your education endgame? To what purpose was your education for?
Just have a degree, really. I mean, I went into accounting and was like, oh yeah, this looks like it's gonna be cool, and just turned out to be very unfun and painful. So I switched to finance because it's in the same school, and I was like, well, the streaming thing seems to be working, so maybe we'll keep on trying that after college. So now we're here.
Interesting.
Yeah, accounting is like the annoying cousin of finance.
Very, very time consuming.
Yeah.
I don't know that
very
anybody ever grows up and says, I want to be an accountant.
Yeah. So I realized pretty quick that I did not.
I know someone that did from high school. He's an accountant for some.
How sad is that you just want to?
He likes numbers. I mean, why you gotta judge him?
Okay, that's valid. I don't even really have an excuse to say because I have no comeback for that. But yeah, we're gonna be all right. So I suppose I should probably get my crap together. I didn't really. Did I retweet? Maybe. I feel like I retweeted. All right. So let's get some quick news out of the way. And when I say quick news, let's talk about the reset for May 29th, which is going to be Tuesday. Your event for the week is going to be the Battleground bonus. So go get your, go get your kill on, get your wins. And the brawl this week is not my favorite, but it's a brawl nonetheless, which is Deep Wind Dunk. Go have fun. If you guys like that kind of thing, that is not my favorite brawl because it's...
Can't wait.
It takes a very... I can't even say it because I'm got to be better, guys. I'm trying to get right with the Lord. And the only way to do that is to not be mean to people. So we're just not going to say it. We're going to be okay with it. The Glow Cap Festival is happening May 27th, which I think that is... What is that, a
Mushroom
Sunday?
Festival.
No, that's not what it's titled, Rem.
Oh, no, but the gold claps,
Yes,
glow
it is
caps
in
are-
fact the Mushroom Festival, and it's in, what is Zanger Marsh? Zangin Marsh? Zangin Marsh? Zanger Marsh?
Zangyar?
Zangyar? Is that how you actually say it?
No. I think it's Zangar. I think.
Zangar Marsh.
Zangar Marsh. Okay, I practiced that before the show, guys. You should be super proud of me. I'm very knowledgeable, but I don't know how to speak WoW speak. I really struggle with pronunciation. Luckily, I have Rem to always correct me and tell me when I'm wrong. He's really, really good about keeping me on my toes in that regard. The festival, you just go. It wasn't cool for me, but there's a lot of new players to the game, especially this expansion. So I feel like you guys should go experience that. You have to keep one of the guys alive. I don't remember his name, but it's, it's interactive. It's something to do. And it's a space to go look at WoW visuals, question mark? I don't know. I lost it. I don't know if I ever had it. Go ahead. I know you want to say something. I can feel it in my bones. I know you want to say something.
I can hear the fan.
Listen, I'm not going to sweat
I'm just letting you know.
my, pretend whatever. You guys just kind of have to listen to the sound of my fan until I can work it out because I don't know how to make it not do that. I put an air conditioner in here, guys. That's why you hear it. But right now, my underparts are not sweating, and I really appreciate that. So we're just going to keep on, trucking. You guys are boys. You get what I'm saying even more than I do. Like,
Well, that's what I'm saying.
true.
Swamp Ass is no one's friend.
it really isn't. And last week, guys, it was bad. It was absolutely horrible, which is why we have it. Is it really bad? Because I guess I can... How's that? Is that any better?
It's just like that constant white noise in the background.
Yeah. Well, this is what you get for doing home improvement stuff. I should have double checked the hotfixes, but I don't think there was anything really to note, honestly. But,
Well, as you perfectly put it, working as intended.
yeah, everything is
Dash
working.
Ian.
Everything is working as intended because that is the standard answer for all the things, and that's a great thing. So we don't have a ton of live news. We know why, because they're busy working on the expansion and doing things that they need to do, and they got a lot of stuff going on with tournaments and BlizzCon planning and all of that. So not a whole lot going on in live, but I do want to talk about this Jaina comic. Have both of you had the pleasure of reading the...
I actually didn't. I meant to.
I read through all of it. Yeah, I liked it. Then again, I knew Jaina before she was a stingy little,
I couldn't get past the opening monologuing because it was really like,
She was reflecting on the past. That's not monologuing.
it was like, woe is me type of deal. It was super.
Well, I mean, a lot of shit has happened to her. I think she's justified in her whining.
I mean, a lot of stuff has happened to a lot of characters, but they don't sit on there and QQ and cry about it.
Thrall has been crying all the
I
time.
know he really does. And we have to save him every expansion from something. So, I mean, we should really be used to that. I did like the story because I did like that it seemed to have... Did it spoil for you, Rem? I guess you probably went through more of the campaign and beta than I did because I try to avoid the spoilers. But
No, it doesn't spoil anything. It just kind of gives a reason why she chose Cool Terrace and what led up to that point.
Are you a Jaina fan, Jack?
Not really.
I knew there was a reason I liked you.
I mean, at this point, it's I get why they're like trying to bring her back and like get her back to like kind of like relevance and trying to make her come kind of like full circle of like, oh hey, like well she was more the peacekeeper, more trusting, and then it's like oh everything got kind of dashed. So at this point she's kind of out for blood, out for vengeance. She's not really she's kind of on her own. But at that point, so is Sylvanas, or they both are out just for their own self-interests and nobody else's.
I'm really digging the vibe with her new model. I'm not gonna lie about that. I think the new model is great. But I've never really liked Jaina. I still have nightmares. She's conjured a blizzard, lead them into it. It literally haunts me in my dreams. I spent entirely too much time in that raid. It literally haunts my dreams. But I just feel like, I don't know, I'm angry for lots of reasons, but I guess none of those really matter, question mark. Maybe they do, maybe they don't, I don't know. I think the only reason, obviously we knew there was a story to tell because she left in Legion and she was very angry. So we knew that we were going to get back to that story anyway, but I also feel like we're kind of running out of main characters because they killed a lot of people. So I'm curious to see where's that going to take us? Anywhere? No?
New story arcs.
Yeah, that's why they kind of have to build new story arcs. I guess at this point, I mean, they're running out of faction leaders really to kind of build off on,
Thank you for not saying building having a narrative, because I don't understand what people mean when they say that. It's said so much where they're like, oh, we're going to go have a narrative. Why don't you just say you're going to have a conversation about some stuff? And then I see other non-Blizzard people say it on Twitter, and I'm like, stop. You're copying the Blizzard devs. It's embarrassing. Guys, am I the only one that doesn't see anything on the Twitch channel?
No, it's there.
I'm good.
Is there chat? Because I see nothing.
Yeah,
There's chat.
It's saying everything is offline. I don't see anything at all.
No, we're chilling. We're good.
No, it's good.
Is anybody talking in chat?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see that at all. I have not seen chat this whole time, which is why I've been a little distracted because I low-key was trying to figure out why it's not outputting. Like, I have no chat.
Huh. Yeah, but it seems to be good.
All right, let me open this up and do that. Also, I don't know if you guys knew, but the Christie Golden book that's available for pre-order now, Amazon did kind of a fucked up thing, and they posted on her well, the funny thing is it isn't Amazon that does that. It's whoever's in charge of the Amazon account, but they posted the last page and like the last bit of information, so people already know how the book ends. And
wow,
people were posting to her on Twitter over the weekend, and they were like, well, thank you, we don't have to buy the book now because Amazon basically told us the ending.
Fuck.
Yeah, so
wow.
Yeah, that's...
But I mean, you don't know all the meat that caused that, though. So
yeah.
Did you say?
I don't know. I mean, it's hard to like watch after you already know how it ends, or read it, or after you already know how it ends.
If you're like me and you want to just like you like, for me, it's really hard to deal with like suspense, right? So if I'm reading something, I'm rushing because I want to find out what's going on. If you show me the end of the book, I'm gonna read it. I'm not gonna not do it. I might spend money on it to add it to my collection because that's what I'm supposed to do, but yeah, a lot of people, she was pretty frustrated. She said that it was Amazon, but once again, I'm like an Amazon queen. I know how that works, and you're the one that decides what.
Well, it wouldn't be her, it'd be someone at Blizzard,
right,
yeah?
Whoever, well, I don't know if she's in charge of her own, like, name. I don't know, but yeah. So if, I don't know if they still have it up there, but if you guys are interested in having the story spoiled for you, feel free. I'm trying to pull up Twitch chat on my phone because guys, it's one of those days, right? Where I'm just ready to just...
Yeah, have you tried turning it off and on again?
Yeah, I also tried setting it to Wumbo, and turns out Wumbo doesn't help. All right.
We can take a quick recess to reapply the thermal paste.
No, we're not doing thermal paste. Last time we did thermal paste, it was a bad day. Have you ever reapplied your thermal paste, Jack?
I have, actually. Not fun.
Did you reapply the thermal paste because the internet told you that that's what was wrong with your overheating computer?
I did not.
And then when you reapplied the thermal paste, it was worse than when you touched it before, because it's like once you crack open
Yeah.
something.
Oh, it's set there. I mean, I rebuilt my computer and I messed with thermal paste. Got a water cooler.
Yeah.
I'm touching that again.
So that happened, and I thought I'm gonna go to Fry's Electronics and I'm gonna get the best thermal paste money can buy, right?
Well, the best thermal paste is like what, $2, $5?
Yeah.
Yeah, the one I bought was like 10 though. I wasn't gonna take any chances, guys. This is Bertha we're talking about. Bertha only deserves the best.
What comes in the Cooler Master Evo 12?
Yeah. Just use that.
CPU
That's what I
cooler. Last year I cleaned out the old thermal paste and reapplied it, and
Well, also,
good.
in addition to that, they told me to.
See, I
Are
told
we
you.
expecting anything different from me, guys? No, I didn't change the alarm. But guess what? I'm going to do it live with you guys right now. I am going to do it right this minute. If I can remember what alarm that is, it's this one. So the time change, I haven't changed the alarm to the other show time because our state doesn't, we don't.
Well, you might as well keep it because we're almost at the next time change anyway.
It's not until October. So yeah, I'm going
4 months.
Yeah, I never changed it back to the other one. So I fixed it, guys. It's all fixed. My 30 alarms, not even lying, there's 30 of them. I fixed them. I don't know what anybody's saying in chat, so maybe somebody can, like, throw up a gang sign or something at me to let me know. Guys, I'm going to look at my phone and be rude because I'm trying to catch up with you guys. Oh, yep. I like how Angie's laughing. Okay. This is really depressing me and all that good stuff, but we're gonna chug right along. Anyway, BFA stuff, which, how much time have you spent in BFA lately? Jack, maybe not a lot because
I've spent a pretty good amount now that school's over, MDI's over, and stuff like that. Probably have over 100 hours on it now.
Now I see chat. It's Chrome, guys.
Over and stuff like that. Probably have over 100 hours on it now.
That is a lot of hours. Now I see
Yeah,
chat.
I think I got all the dungeons done, did a bunch of mythic testing, heroic testing. Got at least a little bit of playtime on all the healers so far.
And of course, your favorite healer being
Priests, for sure.
That was sarcasm, guys. Sarcasm. I knew he was a priest.
It's not Monk then?
Oh, he's not a bandwagoner. He's been a priest since the first time I've ever heard his name, back when he was like little teeny tiny guy. And I'm talking like size-wise. Like, he was just a little guy. He looked like he was 12.
Yeah,
yeah.
6'4", 12-year-old.
But you were like a little guy. You looked very...
I'm thick. 3 C's.
Getting ready for winter?
Yeah, dude.
Us gamers do that, didn't you know?
As I go down to Texas real quick, I got you.
Dude, that humidity is going to be...
I mean, I'm
Not
from
up in
DC, so
Austin.
it's already... Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think the humidity is that bad from what people are saying, but...
Up north, it's fine.
like DC is like the swamp, so
That's
you
how...
walk outside, you instantly start sweating.
Well, if you want to come where we live, it's a dry heat, but your parts won't stick to your leg, because I know that's a problem with boys.
I mean, that was the first thing on my list when I was looking at new places to move, really. Just
I
where
would not
those
like
touch.
the parts
Yeah.
sticking to my leg. They
Well, that's
make
one
a
of the-
powder for that, apparently. I saw on the internet.
I'm great.
Without it.
So, Jack, one of the things you'll learn is we do give life advice here in addition to game stuff, because it's important that you have all the knowledge to be successful in the world.
Yeah.
I don't like San Antonio. I like all the other parts of Texas. I don't like San Antonio because in my experience it was the most humid. But I really love Texas tacos, and I'm super jealous that you are going to get to eat those whenever you want. Because
There's no delivery, actually. There's like very, very little delivery where I'm going.
Yeah, you're going to have to put on like pants, dude, to go and fetch the tacos.
Basically.
But super worth it. Like, it's salivating. All right. This week, we have been talking for the last couple of months about make sure you get your Mythic 15 appearance. You don't have to worry about that because it's going to be obtainable in PFA. What a bunch of jerks.
Why don't they revert the Mage Tower as well now? Because...
Well,
maybe they're trying to figure out a way to do that.
I don't feel like
that seems like
should.
something they'd be adamant about. at the beginning of it.
I
so
don't feel like they should do that. Do you guys feel like they should allow the Mage Tower after? I think the people that worked really hard to get it when the content was current, I feel like...
Well, there's no way to scale, like, the Mage Tower doesn't scale. So it'd be a lot of extra work for them to add scaling into it or something like that. Or you just, like, raffle stomp some, like, low B content to get the appearance, which...
I think the main reason also why they...
effect of what you wanted from that, right?
Yeah.
Challenge, you're just like, oh, let me just, like, stomp this real quick. And it's like, oh, there's no mechanics.
Well, in Mythic 15s, you can be carried at the moment anyway, but at Mage Tower, you actually have to do it. So maybe they can add an easy scaling system and keep it in there or whatever. But
again, that's like the work aspect. I'm not sure if it's like flip a switch and then there's scaling added into it, or if they actually have to like spend time working on it or something like that. So.
I was super frustrated with the fact that I had 46 wipes getting my Greenfire quest, and the reason I went through all that is because initially they were like, you have to do this now, or with expansion you're not going to be able to do it. Then everybody cried. All the non-Warlock people who occasionally want to roll Affliction because it's the flavor of the last 10 years. So I got kind of hosed in that scenario because my hard work.
Well, you got the title, they don't.
Yeah, but like...
That's the thing, yeah. You get like a little thing.
The title's great, but like the visual effect of them having Greenfire, I don't agree. I don't think people should be able to get the Greenfire if the devs said you have X amount of time to get this because you're not going to be able to get 46 wipes, guys. I threw my keyboard across the fucking room. Not even joking you. I was on Skype with my brother because back then Skype was the thing, right? Before all the other Discords and all that. I literally picked up my keyboard and I hurled it across the fucking room. My brother's like, are you okay? I'm fine. I'm going to be fine. We're going to be okay. I didn't touch it again for like 3 weeks and then,
The keyboard?
No, I stopped trying because I'm like,
Did it have sharp, jagged edges from colliding with the wall?
Yeah, thankfully I always have an extra keyboard in there, but I threw my mouse too.
As a coward in fear. It's like she's picking me up again.
My mouse was the Cataclysm SteelSeries mouse, and it went flying in 2 different directions. But yeah, I don't think I don't know. You guys know how I feel about pandering, and I feel like we live in an age where people cry about a thing, and sometimes it's a valid cry, right? Like, I believe sometimes there are things that, they need to bend on or they need to compromise on, but I feel like...
What's wrong with pandas?
Pandas are great.
Expansion.
Pandering with the pandas. Oh, God, you guys are similar.
Okay.
Stop causing a bunch of pandemonium.
I can't stand either one of you right now. I'm seriously surrounded by 2 of them that do it. It's bad enough that Rem does it. Yeah, I don't agree with it at all. I think you should stick to your guns, Blizzard. Quit letting people push you around. Stop being fucking bullied. But they don't. They let themselves.
But what if I have the proper qualifications for Greenfire?
If that was the case, nobody would be flying, though. Like, let's be real. The only reason they added flying is because the pandering, right?
Yeah.
I can live without flying.
I love me some flying, okay? I love me some flying.
I do, too, but I live without it. And I don't even acknowledge that I need it until it's available. In fact, when we unlock our flying and we have the ability to do so, I forget to fly because I'm used to being on the ground. I like that they kind of force the hand at the beginning of an expansion. I don't mind that at all. But yeah, and people even complain about that. They complain they got to do stuff for the Pathfinder. Oh shit, guys, you paid $15 to actually play the game. Sorry. Gosh. Anyway, okay, you guys knew that a rant was going to happen at some point. So, I forgot to take a screenshot, but the good news is I don't have to take a screenshot what we're talking about because it's just a recolor. The secret finding has already begun and it's in the form of data mining. Okay, cool.
Oh?
Yeah, they found the whatever the thing is called.
Oh.
But it's basically the Riddler's Mount. It's just a recolor.
Nazjatar.
Yeah, they don't know how to unlock it yet. I'm sure, the secret finder folks.
A little snaky thing.
Yeah, but like... So,
Sky Snake.
A sneaky snake, yeah.
Like, everybody knows I have voiced my opinion regarding certain aspects of data mining, right? I have a lot of respect for Wowhead. I work with Wowhead. All those things. I have a problem with data mining some elements and some aspects. Now, yes, when we had Perk on the show, I asked Perk, I Chris Hansen Perk, right? Like, she never saw me coming. I was like, how do you feel ruining people's surprises in game? It was so funny. But I love her
Doesn't stand
because
up
she
for
had the perfect response. She didn't even falter. Her response was, well, Blizzard wouldn't let us if, they wanted to keep everything a secret. When Blizzard wants to hide it, they do hide it, and we can't we can't decipher what it is. We can only guess. And she's right. And I like data mining because it keeps me, in my podcasting life and my video life and those kind of things, and then we wouldn't have anything to talk about. But it's times like this when it really irritates me, because I would have loved for the secret finders to actually find that there was a mount versus the data mining giving them a clue. Like, I would love for them to just keep doing what they're doing, which is on their own.
So you want Blue's Clues instead of like Dora the Explorer, where it's like just on the map, data mining.
I like that people have band together in that Secret Finders Discord. I love that the devs...
Oh, yeah, that's crazy. Always going on.
Do they say like how you're going to be able to get it though?
No, they don't. But like,
the
Riddler's mount previously wasn't data mined. The Secret Finders just found that, which is like, how do people even do that? I am lucky I can find my underwear. Like, they... how did you even know to figure something out? Because a series of clues led you to, whatever. And I know that a couple of the devs are in there, and I know that they throw out random, like, hints to whatever. But I just feel like...
To be clear, it's just the recolor, right?
Yeah, it's
not a new model. I think that's fine, though. Because in many ways, like, I would not expect the developers who put all the time and care into the first Riddler mount and all that other stuff going into it to just say, like, oh, hey, look, we're going to do, here's our new thing for the expansion, the recolor. It's like, no, it's like, that's the thing. It's going to be like, hey, we have more of this. We have more of this coming. And it's kind of like a little teaser. So I think
that's like Muffin has tweeted /1 because he likes teasing.
Exactly. And the other big part of it is like, imagine if they released a new model, right? Like, that would suck, right? So since they haven't done that yet, though, isn't that kind of the teaser to say like, hey, like there might actually just be something here that, we complete this one to get the recolor, and then it says, oh, this is going to lead us on to something else that's going to be brand new. If that's the case, it's going to be awesome.
I never actually thought about that, because they haven't, to my knowledge, I don't recall Wowhead being able to data mine that previously, so you might actually have a point there.
Yeah. So,
look at
hey,
you.
As long as they don't show what the new model's going to be, like, yeah.
Look at you talking me down from the rant ledge.
That was not my way of thinking it, but...
No, you have no idea what you just did. Like,
no, Rem doesn't talk me down when I'm trying to get right with the Lord.
Hey, you're on.
He lets me, and then he says the exact things I need to hear to force the ranting.
Oh, it's a whole new kind of podcast now.
Yeah, I try to be really chill, and I try to not rant. But, when you're passionate about stuff, I try to respect, because I respect the devs, but there are a lot of things I don't agree with. And I just, PvP, for instance, but we're not going to talk about that, guys. Thought I was going to rant, didn't you? No, we're not. Because I don't have a reason to rant right now. I haven't been able to test it. Rem says the world PvP is looking good with the, War Mode?
War Mode's great. A+.
Yeah, I haven't got a chance.
You basically get more XP.
Is it great as a caster, though? Because I haven't done any PvP in the new expansion at all, because I'm terrified that it's going to make me miserable.
So. Well, I don't know. Jack is a caster for MDI. We should ask him.
Oh, God. See? There's 2 of them doing it!
But no, seriously, it's fun. Like, long story short, 3 of us like teamed up on a 120, and because we're like 110, so we're supposed to die, and I mean it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be good.
So, you teamed up on one person?
For survival, yes.
That's kind of like was that one person killing you?
Yes.
I mean,
if they're on Cool Terrace as a horde, they're there to kill us.
So. Is there a different phase?
No.
Yeah, I mean, if you activate War Mode, you're in War Mode.
Well, that is a different phase.
I seen a horde in Cool Terrace when I was in beta the other day, and I thought I was supposed to be seeing these guys.
Yeah, it's kind of hard. Like, there's not that many.
Yeah, with the war campaign, they come to Cool Terrace. They're in the same phase as you. As long as you're in War Mode, they can come and attack you. If you want, I can tell you about the different buffs you get.
Because I thought. That's one of the things I'm excited about. I don't want to level with the other faction. I love the other faction. I'm going to beat the other faction. Well, at the beginning,
as long as you can level up quick, then yeah, you'll be on par with anyone that tries to run in. But
yeah, I don't want to I don't want to see
I don't really think that
Horde.
many people are going to try to level on the other island, the opposing faction. I don't feel like it's going to be that worth. Because, like, War Mode just gives you a bunch of damage buffs and XP buffs. It's like, okay, well, that's what leveling is. Let me just level up as fast as possible. Then I can go gank some lobies or something like that. And
Going to the other islands part of the war campaign. It's not like a quest or anything
Yeah, but
like that.
what if we just got drunk one night and we just went? I feel like I want to do that.
I mean, it'd be possible. You can kill anyone, and that's got war mode on. It's not like a different phase because they're leveling.
I'll have to test this weekend. I was waiting for them to just kind of fine tune a little bit more. Jack, you probably don't know, but I've been super frustrated this expansion with PvP. As I'm sure you know, pretty much 90% of everyone in the PvP community has shared the same list of frustrations. But I'm hoping that this is kind of the redeemer, because I didn't actually used to PvP or PvE before. I was strictly PvP, minus what I had to do for stuff. And it's been the opposite this expansion, so there's been a lot of rants.
A lot of passion. A lot of passion.
Yes. And it might not be... No! Tanks do not belong in PvP. Fuck off. I have Tourette's.
I mean...
Tourette's, guys. Tourette's. Just want to throw that out there. Do you feel like tanks belong in PvP, Jack?
If I know what's good for me, no.
Yeah, no. Now... I know someone's going to say it.
Depends on the instance.
Someone's going to say it. Blizzard shouldn't make it viable for them to be in PvP. I agree, guys. We on the same page, and I feel like they're working their way towards that. I don't know what the tanks look like in beta, but I'm hoping that they are... I know it hurts my feelings when I see Bean. It really hurts my feelings because I expect better from him, but it kills me. I die inside. No tanks in PvP. No, RPG tanks, I mean, I suppose I could be okay with that, but I should never see a tank in a fucking arena, ever. I think you being a tank in an arena is just as bad as being a rogue.
That's pretty prejudiced.
I know, it's would it be classist?
Rollist?
Rollist? Okay, that was a bad one. Oh, Rem, did you hear the Kata recipes? The lost Zolgrub recipes have like resurfaced. They've found their way back. I guess they were lost
I didn't
during.
Hear that.
Yeah, they
were
just
lost. Lose the file.
Well, no. Like from the story, they were lost in the all the stuff that was going on, and now they've kind of like resurfaced, which I guess is pretty cool. I don't really.
That's good for people that haven't been able to come. Like we have Softy that likes to complete every single thing in the profession.
So there's 3 NPCs, and they have like, I don't know what was not in here, but there's a whole list. Wowhead has a whole list of the returning recipes. That's like primal bat skin bracers and, you know, bloodvine vest, which how do we live without that, Jack? We lived without the bloodvine vest this whole time. I don't know how we made it.
Yeah, well, that should make sense story-wise why they're bringing it back too.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question, or not question, but I was looking for you for that information, because if I try to give people story, 20 people are going to tell me to shut up because I'm a woman. So let's let you, the professional.
I don't know about professional, but basically it's because Zandalar has always been closed off to outsiders, and with the Horde going out there and making themselves emissaries to them, bringing them into the fold of the Horde, it allows us access to all the lost archives of all the recipes. Because if Zul'Grub had it, Zandalar had it, because they're like the OG tribe. Everyone else is like a split off of the Zandalari.
I like the way you think. So if I would have said that, I would have been wrong. I just want to point that out. Just kidding, guys. I'm not bitter. I promise. Let's see. We were talking about the Pathfinder. Now, I just want you guys to know that the Pathfinder is going to be just like every other Pathfinder, guys. Every other Pathfinder.
I don't know about every other one.
I mean, the only difference is there's a Horde version and an Alliance version. You don't have to have both. You just need one.
Okay, that's because I saw that. I was like, it had the Alliance one and it had the Zandalar one. I was like, wait. I mean, I'm doing both of them either way, but I was like, oh, people are not going to be happy.
One or the other. Well, people were unhappy, and there was a big Twitter situation, and...
Yeah, because if you have 4 and allied characters, you have to get both achievements.
Yeah.
But
Daddy Ian got on Twitter real quick and was like, guys, calm down. It's going to be okay. We don't have to deal with this. Like, people were having serious meltdowns on Twitter. It was hysterical. I was in the bathroom and I'm reading these. Like, people are just telling the devs to hang themselves. Like, it was awful. Yeah. And they were like, calm down. Nobody said you had to do both. But I think the logical assumption for most people was that because both were there. But because a lot of the stuff from 110 to 120 is faction specific, they're just obeying that faction specific and allowing you to do that. So you don't have to go all the way through Horde and then go through Alliance and vice versa. You just need to do it on one. But the you have to do the BFA Explorer, which is, you know, it's the normal stuff, exploring all the stuff. There's a whole list. Wowhead already has a guide. It's not even live yet, but you guys can be prepared. Cool Tourist, which is the campaign there, and the cool Tyrus Diplomat, which, as we know, is, you know, all the reputations on that.
Cool Taurus.
Are you? I was like, are you laughing at me? Because yeah. And then Horde side, BFA Explorer, and then Zandalar Forever, which is the Zandalar questline, and the Zandalar Diplomat, which is the reputation.
They must have just watched like Black Panther when they're making that achievement.
Yeah, you're probably right
Wakanda
about that.
Forever.
Wakanda
yeah,
Forever.
probably just a coincidence.
I feel like it's not. Maybe they had something else and then they changed it to that because it made sense.
Maybe you got early access to the movie.
I wish I could have early access to the movie. That's really the major stuff that I had to talk about as far as things that are new. I spent some time doing beta stuff because with the DitchCon prep and everything, I hadn't had a chance to go in there, and since the reset, when they go from alpha to beta and they reset all your characters, so I have to start over with all that stuff. I did go in there and do things, and guys, I gotta be really honest about something. So when Rem and I did Legion alpha testing, I fell in love with Suramar, right? Guys, like those of you that watched...
There wasn't even textures, and she's like, oh my god.
I ran all the way through the city to get footage of it and died every 5 seconds, and for 3 hours I did that because I was obsessed with the city. I'm gonna be Nightborn until I die, even though I'm Alliance, and I know that makes no sense, but I feel like the Horde stole something from me because they got my allied race. Whatever, it's cool. I'm gonna be all right. But I really have a weird connection with Colteris, and I don't know why. I haven't been able to figure out, because visually it's very different than Suramar, and we figured out that the reason I'm obsessed with Suramar is because it reminds me of Rivendell, and I'm obsessed with Lord of the Rings, so we figured out that, Dr. Phil. Am I the only one that feels this way about Colteris? Like, I'm in love. No one else is in love?
I don't really play Alliance, so I'm like, eh.
Well, I don't know about love, but I'm excited about Colteris because that's one of the lands we've never been able to go to yet. So for me, it's just excitement of all the nooks and crannies in there.
I like
visuals. Stormsong Valley is going to be my hangout place.
I mean, I like chilling in Borealis and all that kind of stuff. But Stormsong Valley reminds me a lot of, because that's the snowy peaks, right? If you go to one side of the map, it's the snowy peaks, or is that Tears? That's not Tears Guard.
That's Dressfar.
Oh, Dressfar? Oh, it is Dressfar. Well, I really like it. Now, to talk about Horde, because Jack and I are going to have to be at war now because we're opposing factions. I'm going to have to kill you, Jack, and I'm okay with that because we're still going to be friends.
We'll see.
I can hear you typing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm making plans to gank you.
No,
Sorry.
I was telling Ram I could hear him typing.
Okay.
That wasn't me.
I saw your hands move. You type with one hand, Jack?
No, I have both hands.
I'm gonna have to start doing hand checks on these boys. I do love Zandalar, though. I thought it, like, I didn't think I was gonna like the Horde stuff because I typically just don't, because I'm not Horde, I just don't like the stuff. I thought it was very beautiful, and I quite enjoyed questing through
Nazmir and Vol'dun, yeah.
Where did we go that was the S&M type place? I was like,
oh, that was in
Horde's got it figured out. This is where the
that was in
is.
Nazmir. There was a bunch of the blood trolls with the prisoners and stuff.
Okay, here's the thing about that. If you went to where those prisoners were and they were like hanging on chains, right? They didn't look unhappy. Like they looked.
Oh yeah,
They
that was like the
look,
recruits.
Yeah, they didn't look like they were having a bad day. They looked like they had a Coke and a smile. Like, seriously, I was like, okay, I'm kind of digging the vibe here.
They had to prove themselves.
Well, I feel like there might have been some things going on there, and I feel like I want to be a part of that. So I'm interested to find out if they're recruiting, because I would like to join whatever's going on there I'm in.
Have you done all the quests there?
I've done most of them. I think, what did we get to the... We got to the part where we dealt with one of the Loas. I don't remember.
Okay.
Well, the bad dude. I can't remember the name.
Yeah, and then I swapped back over to Alliance, yeah. But
yeah,
I enjoyed the questing more than I thought that I would, to be honest. I didn't think I was going to like it at all. But I really...
cool.
I enjoyed it. I think the visuals were great.
There's so many like side quests and offshoot quests in the zones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little bit of the turtle guy, yeah.
I squirrel too, so that's not helpful for Rem, because he tells me we're going to go over here and do a thing, and I'm over here grabbing 20 quests that...
Well, that's actually what I like about, for Cool Terrace, for example, in Dressfar, you start in this place where they're doing a bewitching. They're hanging the witch, and it tells you to go to this place to the far left, but if you go along the road, it has like 2 different more quests along that road, but if you just beeline it straight through, you might miss some stuff, so don't be afraid to explore. Especially in Nazmir, there's a whole... I get lost in there because there's so much stuff to do.
I was recalling getting eaten by the worm, and I thought that it was hysterical. Absolutely hysterical.
Oh, if you go out of the area?
I just did it just because I wanted to see myself get eaten by the worm. I'm trying to figure out why I can't... My font is... Guys, I'm getting old, okay? Old. We're old.
That's actually one of those trilobites, one of the new hunter pets, that worm.
Oh, it is. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right. Jack, name something that makes you really happy about BFA. Like one thing that makes you super happy when you think about it, or, you know, whatever.
Mythic Plus. Yeah. The new dungeons are really, really cool. A lot of it is... It very much tries to do sort of what See the Triumvirate is, where all the trash packs are actually going to be pretty tough, and you're not going to be able to like mass pull everything in together and just nuke it down super quick without having to deal with a lot of mechanics in the process. So I think that will be one of the things with dungeons. They're going to make everything a lot more challenging. They're going to kind of like raise the bar for everybody. So I would expect like, and that's part of why they put the level 2 level affix on Fortified Tyrannical instead of it being on like the level 10 tier. Because they want to make sure like they're able to kind of integrate people into being like, hey, like we can get more serious about this in terms of Mythic Plus, and it will be a lot more. It seems to me it'll be a lot more challenging environment for most people. But the part that I'm kind of skeptical of is where are the big rewards and incentives to keep on pushing.
Right.
You know, and they kind of hinted at that, but I mean we haven't seen the full story yet.
Yeah. Well, I think one of the things that we as players, I think Ian had said it it might have even been the announcement of Legion. He had said, you know, one of our problems is our players gobble up everything the second we throw it out there, whether it's raids or dungeons. Like they just consume it in such quick quantities that we as a game company can't keep up and still hold true to what World of Warcraft is, right? Like it's a lot of development time. So I think the addition of the Mythic Pluses was genius, and it really, as long as they continue to make it challenging, force strategies, force, you know, not going in with a DK or whatever. I don't even know what the flavor of the month is, but not being able to cheese certain things because you have a specific tank or you have a specific OP healer, whatever the case may be. I think it should be strategic. I think you should have to think and make decisions. I think you shouldn't be like me and run into all the fucking rooms.
That gives me a headache though, thinking. God.
But I think what happens is, so Draenor, we dumbed a lot of things down. And why did we dumb a lot of things down? Because they were trying to bring in new players, and they thought, well, if we don't make it super complicated, it'll be super easy for these guys to come in. And I mean, that's
it
great.
Started in Kata.
Right, and that's great. It's great that you want to bring in new people, but those of us that have been here, it shouldn't be blanket, and you shouldn't make those people suffer. It should be skill-based, and you shouldn't have just 2 buttons. Sorry, mages. Like, you should have should be thoughtful. That's why I liked when we had our global cooldown conversation. I appreciated that he said, you know, things should be thoughtful. It shouldn't be hopeless, right? Like they shouldn't do so many things to these global cooldowns that it's hopeless. But I think it should be thoughtful, and you should have to decide, if I use X, how is that going to affect Y? Or, you know, are we going to be able to do this in this time because we have this set of affixes and we have, these are the guys that we're running with or whatever. I think it should be thoughtful. So I'm on board with that, Jack. I think them continuously putting in there. I want to see them give some big rewards, though. I'd like to see something that's only Mythic Plus in nature as far as rewards are concerned, depending on, you know, however high the key is. I do think we should see kind of like how they do Mythic. Like there's a lot of stuff that's only Mythic raids, and I think that's great. I think those guys should deserve it because I can't even get my Mythic 15 appearance done. Okay, guys?
For the dungeons that you're doing on beta, were you doing the Mythics or like Heroic or what?
Just normal and Heroic and stuff like that. So,
because I mean, they did the same thing in Kata where like the very first patch, you actually had to CC the mobs, actually had to try and coordinate and actually get to the bosses, whereas people whined, it got nerfed to the ground. Now it's like, it was easy.
Well, that's what the keystones are for, right? I mean, they don't really have to make Mythic Zeros really that difficult at all. Like
that's
they could
exactly
just,
right.
Yeah, like let the keys actually start giving you better gear. Like if you want to keep on grinding, go for it. Just keep on leveling the key until your eyes bleed. But you know, at that point, I think with Kata dungeons, you had to do the dungeons to get halfway decent gear before raids came out, or just supplement the raid gear because you could only do the raid once a week. There was no flex, there was no normal heroic, etc. You did it once. So with that stuff, yeah, I think it's a lot on like how the gear is made available to you and how high can it scale up. Mythic Plus just solves all those problems.
And you can make the choice. Like you said, you have a keystone. You either use it or you don't. If you have a keystone, you go in and do it. You're making the choice for it to be difficult. So I don't want to see you on the forums queuing because you're trying to do a plus 16 key on like the worst affix schedule of the week ever. And you're crying because it's too difficult. Don't do it then. You have the choice. They are giving you the option. Not to mention the different maps that give you the gear, whatever the map is of that expansion, right? Like Broken Shore and all that. You go and buy all your gear that you need to be average. I'm average and I'm okay. Well, I'm a raider, but yeah.
On that note of FX's schedule, with Inscription being able to tweak keystones, how do you think that will help Mythic?
I saw they were talking about the item that would. Well, hang on. Are you talking about the item that would change? That it was like the on use item, and then it changes the affix to that or something like that. That's from MDI. Being able to set the affix for the key was MDI specific. Like,
I thought there was something about for BFA the inscriptions are going to be able to affect Mythic Pluses or the keystone.
I mean, cool. I mean, I haven't seen it personally. I remember there was a Wowhead article that listed out like being able to change the dungeon and the affix and stuff like that, but that was all for the MDI tournament realms. But I mean, that'd be cool if there was an inscription thing that would allow you to like re-roll the key, right? Say like, oh crap, like I really don't want to do this key this week, nor do my buddies want to drop it down and do a new one. So I mean, that'd be kind of a cool thing to it if you're able to have an item that allows you like re-roll your key once a week. But yeah,
would it be better or worse if they stayed with the fixed schedule of affixes, or if they completely randomize it?
Oh, they need to keep the schedule. They need to keep the schedule.
Yeah, like, I'm not even a big. I'm not on Jack's level, but I think players need to have that consistency so that they can, especially serious players. I think that they need to have that schedule. What do you feel like would happen if they didn't have a schedule?
Oh, you'd only be brought to keys if you had a good keystone, and then once you had a bad one, they would just be like, all right, let's get somebody with a better thing, you know, because because you would want to just keep on, or what you do is you'd keep on like putting like +3ing certain dungeons and then trying to boost it up into something that's going to be like pretty worthwhile, right? And you keep on trying it again and again and again, back and forth, until you get the 27 with the perfect affixes and stuff like that. At least with a schedule that they can kind of mix up as they need to and make sure they can balance it well enough, you have some kind of consistency there. And I think that's what we really need.
I agree with you there. I never would have thought of that either. From a group perspective of trying to plug into something, which I think is how, if I know that there's a lot of people that have teams that they run with, but I know that there's also people that have groups, and you try to find groups, and you have to have AOTC of everything before you can even do an AOTC run in Group Finder. You have to link your AOTC for the boss you're trying to fight to get the AOTC. Otherwise, you're not.
Yeah, and if you have totally random stuff, you could have, teeming necrotic tyrannical or something like that compared to, sanguine grievous fortified. And it's like, well, who do you want to bring? Let's let's bring the easier key, So it would add an extra layer that would kind of harm people where they're saying like, we're not going to bring you because, my buddy Jimmy in the group thinks you're a good player. We're going to bring Steve because he's got a nice key. And that's their decision making.
Steve does have a nice key though, by the by. I don't know if you guys have ever seen Steve's key, but it's pretty nice. Like, I would make that decision too. Wouldn't you, Rem? I heard you were taking pictures of Steve's key. No?
No.
Oh.
That was Steven's key.
Oh, got it. That's well, my hat's off to you. And the Sanguine, Grievous, and Fortified, would you agree that that is the least of all the evil combinations if you're trying to do your 15 appearance?
Yeah, pretty much. That and yeah, I think that probably is going to be the easiest key that there is, or at least the combination that we have right now. But like this is one of the easier weeks for Tyrannical right now. It's the Raging Volcanic Tyrannical.
What makes it easy for the people that don't know?
Trash mobs, of course, you can just be able to kite out whenever they start getting low. You have a lot of time to be able to get everything in together, get it all set up. There's a number of mobs that'll drop you ridiculously low or potentially one-shot you depending on your gear from a fortified standpoint. So whenever you're doing your trash pulls, you're able to get everything in together. Then you start running away, at the very end for the tank to make sure to survive. And Tyrannical, I mean, a lot of it is going to be mechanical based, but as long as you're able to have the consistency and following the mechanics of the fight, and a healer with a good head on their shoulders, you should be, not having too much of an issue with a lot of those fights.
I made Asmongold tell me what the best one was, and I was double checking. I told him I was going to ask everybody, like all the other guys that knew things. I'm like, I'm not just going to take you at your word. Like, I'm going to make sure that this is the right thing, because I can't tell people to go and do this thing if it's not. So I'm glad Zach didn't disappoint me, because him and I would
go out there with that volcanic and sanguine and all that
we'd
stuff.
have to fight about it. I don't really... So I understand a lot about it just because we talk about it on the show and we've discussed it with people who do it and all that kind of thing. I was not built to be able to pay attention to stuff like that if it's not fun for me, right? I don't like PvE stuff, but I do it anyway because the dungeons are cool. I'm obsessed with Quarter Stars. I'll do that on a 25 key. I don't give a shit. That is my favorite dungeon ever. I did a 14 and it was awful, but it was so much fun. It was so fun. And it was, I don't know what the affix is called because I never remember their names, but you couldn't nuke all the ads.
Bolstering.
Yeah, bolstering, that's right. Don't tell me not to use my AoE. I'm destruction and my build is brimstone. Please don't tell me not to AoE.
You got a really big guard after you kill all the little mana worms and stuff. You kill all the little imps and you got a giant inquisitor and then just nuked everybody.
Yeah, I caused it
it's fun times.
Wipes them a few times and they were like, who's AoEing? And I'm like, I'm not using an AoE spell. And they're like, yeah, but you're fire and brimstone. Oh shit, you're right. I totally am fire and brimstone. My fault. They didn't ask me to come back.
I think I had a clip somewhere of our Omega crab where we were doing bolstering in Ivashara. So we pulled all the crabs in together. Someone started DPSing a little too early, and we ended up with out of the 50 crabs or something like that we pulled, we had 5 or 6 that were Omega crabs that survived. So they're sitting there at 0.5% HP, but they still have 200, 300 million. It took a while to kill. Kited them up and down and up and down the entire map.
There goes a timer.
I don't like Ivashara as a dungeon in general. There's a reason, because when we were in alpha...
Oh god, that's hilarious.
We were in alpha, and we were testing. I was doing videos, so we went in, and the fish mechanic where it, turns you into a fish.
That's not a thing anymore because, you kill everything so quick. But yeah,
back when it was a little difficult.
Who was the healer?
They turn you into the floppy fish, right? And you're flopping around?
Insta dispel.
Yeah. Well,
I watched that stuff. DPS love it.
Bugged in alpha. So I was a fish for 2 fucking hours. I was a flopping fish. I'm not even lying to you. And I couldn't do anything. it would say you can't cast because you're a fish. I don't know what it really said.
Fish can't cast.
And every time we went into that dungeon, the same thing happened until it took quite a few builds for them to cycle through. But
I can cast for fish though.
Ugh. So I don't like that one at all. But I do. Quarter Stars is a good one. The Archway really bugged me because of the length of the dungeon. But what I found out is it is very
forgiving.
It is forgiving, but it's also like strategic, right? You have to make sure you're on point, especially the very last part when he ports you and you have to, you have a certain amount of time.
The crystals, yeah.
Yeah, I did appreciate that little extra because it made me stress out, and I like when I feel like, oh God, I got to make sure, I'm not the only one that can't find their way back because I get lost a lot. But I appreciated those kind of little things. I love Blackrook. Anything Blackrook anyway I like, but I like that dungeon. What is it?
Oh, Halls of Valor is another one of your favorite ones.
Not on my list of favorites at all. I actually can't stand that dungeon.
I
like the dungeon visually, and I like what they did with it, and I don't particularly have a problem with the fights. I just don't like...
I don't like getting one shot.
I don't like all the RP. Like, I have to listen to Odin monologue for 20 minutes with Skovald because they want to fight over the Aegis. I don't want to deal with 20 minutes of RP.
Yeah, they take ages for that.
Yeah, God damn it. God! That was a good one, though. I can't even be angry. I tried finding the thing on the inscription rim. I can't see anything.
Yeah, no, it was what he said. I saw it somewhere a long while ago.
Mm.
That would be crazy if they took that, though. I feel like they use a lot of things to test, so maybe...
I mean, I don't see why they couldn't. I mean, that incentivized people to actually get inscription again, so...
Oh, dude, that would be the biggest thing that they would sell since glyphs.
Huh. Yeah, they kind of screwed us.
But nobody would do certain affixes at all. Like, nobody would know how to do bolstering.
Or at least an item that lets you re-roll the key.
Yeah,
Like
that's what I think that would be.
Yeah.
Like a random reroll, like when you make gear, you craft.
Just a new dungeon. Just say, like, instead of speed, I get calf, right? Just like something like that.
What is your favorite dungeon of all the Mythic dungeons, current content-wise? I'm curious.
Court of Stars.
God, I love you. Yeah. You're Horde, and I still... Why is it your favorite, though?
There's a lot of choice in where you want to go. It's also depending on some of the different bonuses and things like that you're getting. So there's some that, like, when you get all those bonuses, you're able to play aggressively enough, especially as a healer, to actually burn your way through the instance. Like, we were doing tyrannical keys yesterday, and we ended up doing a 24 on costs, which was no problem because we ended up getting the brew buff. The brew buff gives you more health and mana. Like, it continuously regens health and mana for you. We also had the food buff, which has synergy because it's a % of your HP that gets healed up. Unfortunately, nobody could eat it. So I'm like, well, this kind of sucks. We don't have a defensive because you either get the food, which is 25% more HP, or you get the book, which is 10% damage reduction, right? So we didn't get either of those because somebody couldn't actually have it. But because we had the brew, I'm able to spam like as hard as possible when we get to the Flame Wreath. And even though the fight took like 3.5 minutes or something like that, almost 4 minutes, really long, we were still able to, keep everybody topped off and have so much mana because you're just constantly regenning. We go up to 26. We have the book buff. We don't have a brew. And so I'm going like just at the very end of the fight. We lose like 2 or 3 people at the end of the fight. And we were like 5 or 6 seconds off the 26 or something like that. Huh. So, it makes a really big difference depending on the different buffs that you get. But all the same, you have some choice in how you're doing the pulls. And it could even be like, oh, we're able to turn off the machines. Now we don't have to worry about X, Y, Z,
And there's different strategies that people can choose because whenever I run with a different group, it's always completely different. Like somebody does it a set way, and that's the path that they take. Because I'll go charging in thinking we're going to do it like we did previous group, and it's not.
Well, that's the thing you just have to communicate.
They're like, no, we don't do that. We're going to let the one person go do the thing, and we're just going to hang back here. I'm like, oh, we're not charging in and killing stuff. Got it. I like the interaction, especially the, what is his name? I can never remember his name, but where you need the... You got to poison him, right?
Yeah. Gerdo.
Yeah, there you go. Okay. I like that interaction. I think that is... I like that it was not just going and killing stuff. Like, there had to be a thing that you had to do, and then there was that little bit of RP there. I thought it was good. I love Quarter Stars. I could do that a million times. I tried to get my 15, though, and we were like... 3-4 seconds off from completing it in the timer. I didn't know you had to do it in the timer, so I was like, it's cool, guys. It doesn't matter. Like, we still did it. And they're like, no, you don't understand. You're not going to get your appearance. Oh, shit. Well, okay, well.
I got mine.
I think the highest I've completed within time is 12, 13, maybe. They don't take destructions very often because we slow people
Rare
down.
breed.
Yeah, well, we slow people
down. Because you're not
down.
affliction, so.
Well, we cast, so, and like my Chaos Bolt's like a 3-second cast and I'm all haste. It just, in the more efficient, if you're trying to be efficient in your runs, Destro, although is very powerful, that's not what you take on a timed run, especially the higher you go. I think Demonology might be, I don't know if it's Demonology or Affliction. Jack would know who the flavor is for the higher keys.
Oh, definitely Affliction.
Yeah, fuck Affliction.
Yep.
But I appreciate that you...
Get Sacrolash and slow everything. You're good to go.
I fucking hate Affliction. I keep hoping another Sundering will happen and all the Affliction in the world will cease to exist. But I'm told Demonology is quite the beast in beta right now.
There's some kind of weird bug with it.
Yeah, I did a rare thing where I actually had trade chat turned on. I actually don't ever have trade chat. And I was paying attention to the conversation because I wanted to get the vibe.
Well, I like that show.
Wow. I was trying to get the vibe of how people were feeling with kind of, I think it was like 2 builds ago. And yeah, people were like, oh, it's OP right now. Which is nice. I think it's good. I don't hate Demonology like I hate.
OP as in it's broken, like something's not tuned right?
I don't know. They were just saying they were very happy with what was going on with Demonology.
Some of the visuals look different and beautiful, so.
Well, Demonology was broken for a super long time. 2 full expansions. Like, I complained because we were broken in Kata, and then Blizzard made Destruction amazing. Pandaland, like, we were great at everything. PvE, PvP, it didn't matter. Then they were like, yeah, fuck your face. You're going to go back to being the shit of the world in Draenor. And then we're all right now. Like, the good Destruction Warlocks can do what they need to do because they know their class. They're not bound by a learning curve because you got to finesse. They're kind of like, you know, they're not everybody can be a priest. Where, you know, and Rem's a shadow priest.
Yeah.
Where he just like looks at his keyboard and he's top damage, and I'm like, yeah, you can.
Not really.
Why, it's work. I won't lie, it's work because I tried to play Shadow Priest. I was like, maybe I want to be top damage someday. Yeah.
No, top damage doesn't happen anymore.
Well, no, and I don't know anything about priesting. I know how to heal averagely. My healing is on my monk. That's what I'm good at. But yeah, I don't priest because I don't understand it like I do Destruction. I feel like everybody kind of speaks with that class.
Well, what's interesting about Shadow Priest is it's changed like dramatically in this expansion, because before we're a dot slowly kill something. Now it's like dot slowly kill, burst. No more burst, slowly kill, burst. It's really annoying.
I don't like dots.
What about whelps?
Many whelps handle it, but I don't like. I like bursting.
I'm assuming you're holy, Jack.
But both sex. A lot of times in keys I'll play disc. I've been usually maining my paladin for pushing higher keys and stuff like that, though, because at this point you have to play paladin or rest of druid if you want to get
That's
higher
what
up there.
Noticed. Yeah.
Why is that?
Survivability, utility, healing throughput, you name it. I mean, druid literally just poops healing out constantly at a very high and consistent rate. Paladin, you're able to just have larger bursts with Beacon of Virtue. Occasionally you'll run with Faith on like very limited keys, but mostly it's just Beacon of Virtue, where you just have, 4 mini beacons that are out temporarily and just pushes all your other healing to those people. You heal one target and heals the other 4 through it, which is just ridiculous. Holy Priest's healing is way too spread out and not bursty enough to top off a lot of people when you're in higher level keys. Disc, while you can have the burst, the extra mana cost associated with doing that can be such a pain.
Yeah.
Because you'd be in, Atonement's not quite enough healing, and your single target healing with Grace can be a little too limiting, when you're not able to actually hit enough people, or you're being forced to have Atonement already on targets before you hit them. Yeah. So there's so many different extra costs associated with that. So Paladin, Paladin wearing plate armor and taking the Devotion Aura talent gives it more physical damage reduction than other people, more baseline damage reduction than other people, and you already have 2 other cooldowns that you can use in Judgment and Divine Protection to be able to stay alive. Druid's got Bear Form, so Priest has
Druids are
Fade and a Shield maybe.
On that note, would it be better if they made all healers kind of have a kit to bring to high level mythics, or is it good to just keep it localized to 2 to 3 classes?
I think it's impossible to get every healer on the same page to be able to actually perform on an equal basis for M+, but I do think they can do a lot and have been doing a lot on beta so far to kind of bring everybody else down to earth. One of the big things they focused on was, of course, survivability. So Monk, they put Diffuse Magic and I think, Fort Brew on different talent rows. So you're actually able to spec into both of those. Yeah. I believe it's Fort Brew. So you're able to spec into both defensives and still be able to actually spec into both defenses, which can be really useful in some situations. Paladins, 15% additional HP that they got in Legion is being removed. Druids, non-Guardian Druids Bear Form, the extra stam they get from that has been reduced from 55 to 25% extra HP.
Oh wow.
And Judgment damage reduction from Paladins getting removed. So there's a lot of damage reduction and survivability aspects getting taken away from Paladin and Druid. Monk gets more damage reduction. Shaman has some decent tools with some of the talents. It's not great still, but and Priest is getting a little bit upgraded form of Desperate Prayer for both specs.
Oh.
Yeah, Desperate Prayer is 30% additional HP for the duration instead of decaying over time, and it heals you. So.
We forgot to tell Jack to turn the automatically adjust microphone off.
Oh yeah.
I was like, why do I keep hearing him? And then
I noticed
really
that. I thought it was
I'm like, he's really excited about what he's talking about. So in the little audio on the bottom, there's you just uncheck the automatically adjust. So your little bottom, there'll be a little caret. Apparently, it's called.
Yeah.
For audio, click it. Go into test computer audio,
and
then uncheck the automatically adjust.
So got it. There we go.
He's really excited about what he's talking about, but I don't really know that he meant to be that excited.
Much better.
That is much better. Okay, so
cool.
So we need to be paladins then.
I still hear what is that? A fan?
It's not my fan. My fan's off.
It might be my fan.
Who cares, guys? We already heard my air conditioner. We don't want Jack to have his part sticking to his leg, guys. We have to just be okay with sometimes not everything being perfect.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to adjust to that, Jack. The last couple of weeks have been not my best because I've been really tired because DitchCon stuff. You have college and you do 20 things at once. Well, they haven't been my very best, and I'm usually a stickler about I'll sit in here and sweat balls to not have any background noise whatsoever because I'm a perfectionist. But I've had to just learn to let go, guys. We just sometimes... I can make sure my stuff's on point for my videos, but for the show, we just got to learn to be all right. And sometimes you need to have a couple drinks on the show. Like last week. I started drinking when we started the show, and I thought this is going to be fine. I'll probably get a buzz by the time the show's over. It'll be good. Well, I didn't eat. So, wasn't the best version of Belle in all of her knowledge. It was not the best version. So favorite, we talked about what makes you happy. Give me something that makes you rage. And I don't mean a little tiny complaint. Give me something when you think about it, you want to throw your keyboard across the room that's coming in BFA. Or potentially, or whatever the case may be.
Trying to think. There's nothing that actually really makes me rage or super upset about the new expansion so far. I'm indifferent about the GCD changes because I'm playing a priest that isn't really affected by GCD changes, right? I'm not really that worried about personal loot at all because I'll get loot and everyone else is going to be on that kind of same page. I think
because you can still trade, right? If you get a piece that
yeah, you can still trade, and I'm planning on doing a lot of Mythic Plus anyway, so I'll probably have a bunch of high eye level pieces from M Plus that are effectively garbage. Some of the really good. Well, early on in the expansion, there's always dungeon trinkets that are decent at first, and then there's a million other things better than them once you replace it. So, I'll do a lot of Mythic Plus. I'll get all those like really high level versions that are just stats, and I'll be able to trade all my gear to the guild itself, and people will be happy about it, right? The only thing I'm kind of worried about is Azerite traits, where right now on beta they have about a handful of actual Azerite traits out for each spec, but with those traits, it's very lackluster in what you're actually getting out of it. You're saying, I don't know, Holy Word Sanctify heals the targets for X more, right? It's things that don't actually impact your playstyle at all.
Isn't that what its design was, though?
I thought it was going to be more along the lines of having the option to switch between different Azerite pieces. So there's two chest pieces that drop in the instance. And I'll say, oh, this could be like a little bit more favorable on single target. This could be a little bit more favorable on AoE. You know, we actually have some options going into it. But with these, it's just like, okay, well, what's the math equation to say what's going to be better here?
Yeah.
I mean, even then, it's only like two options. It's either the Azerite or what's to your spec.
Yeah.
Like right now, they change it up where before it was Mindseer has increased damage. Now for Shadow Priest, it's just Shadow Word Pain has increased damage. But also, if something dies while the effect is on it, then you get increased insanity. So that's kind of a cool little addition to it.
I noticed that too, Angie. Yeah, Jack did get kind of quiet, and Rem blew out my ears when he started talking. Your audio's a little low, Jack, and Rem has a big mouth, is basically what we can surmise from that sentence.
I think at this point, a lot of it is just like, how would you know the difference between whether or not you're actually wearing any of the pieces on your gear, right? You're saying like, oh,
yeah,
it's like, what's actually impactful about that? Like, we had an entire expansion focused around individual gear pieces that make an incredible amount of difference to you, right? With Azerite pieces, we're not really getting that.
I haven't even looked at the new stuff that they just came out with. I want it to be value. I want there to be value there. I don't want to be reliant on a necklace, just like I didn't want to be reliant on a weapon. I don't want to be bound to one specific thing because it makes it difficult to alt.
Maybe that's why they're doing the way they do, with the way the traits aren't really like.
I don't think they're done with that though.
Well, I know they're not, but I mean,
I think they're throwing shit out there to see what sticks. 150%. I think they're throwing stuff out there to get community's reaction to see if they need to do X or Y. That's honestly how I feel about it. I don't know if that sounds like.
I mean, that's how you R&D stuff, really.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's Blizzard's famous for that. They throw everything out there and then they cycle through. Okay, we got bad feedback.
Or they
about
completely
this.
remove it. Yeah.
They break everything and then they fix it so they look like the good guy. I'm on to Blizzard. I know what they do. Yeah, I know that there isn't a whole lot of options, just like people were frustrated with the talents for PvP. You know, they had been waiting because they put all these talents in a bucket, right? You had your bucket, and a lot of classes didn't get anything new, additional, or anything like that. I think people had high expectations because it had been talked up, but I mean, I don't know. I think, so would you prefer, how dependent would you prefer to be on your necklace for performance? Like, what is a happy medium to you as far as dependency on a set item, like, you know, an artifact item?
I think the pieces that you get from the raids or even from Mythic Plus should be in some kind of way more impactful than we're seeing right now, right? I should actually notice some kind of difference when I'm going into it and saying, oh yeah, I actually put on this piece. It's from the raid, it makes a world of difference in my performance, and I'm actually able to kind of tell the difference about what's going on. When you have it right now where you're saying, oh, okay, that's, you know, a little bit of extra healing, I can kind of see a little buff or whatever, that doesn't really impact me at all. I'd rather see something that's akin to maybe a little bit weaker or more balanced form of legendaries, but I don't know, we'll have to see.
Did you say you wanted more? I don't know why you're so quiet. Is it just me?
No, it was the auto adjust that dropped it down.
The auto adjust shouldn't though. Oh, it automatically lowers his mic on the bar. It does that to me. You're right.
Yeah.
Although, yep, you got to make it go all the way to the top.
Yeah. All right. There we go.
Keep going.
I think this should be good. That's it. That's as high as it goes.
That's good.
Okay.
He's loud for me.
As long as he's loud for you guys, that's cool. Because I turned my volume all the way up, so everybody's loud.
Okay.
So dependency is what we were talking about.
Yeah, I mean, you want to be able to actually be dependent on these new pieces in some way, shape, or form.
Well, What would be an example of something besides what they're doing now, where it's just X creates Y? Like,
create smaller forms of legendaries. Where you're saying, like, I mean, you could literally just copy paste some current legendaries into the Azerite effects, reduce the effectiveness of them by 50-60%, something like that. You know, actually work on bringing everything down to. I
thought you were saying to bring more legendaries to the game. You were about to get the wrong side of my wrath because
she was about to flog you.
I loved the idea of that, so I actually do agree with you there, Jack. I think bringing this, instead of what they're doing now, is they're sprinkling they're sprinkling some of that stuff in the talents or into your class inherently. I don't really know that I can trust them to decide what's fun for me and what's not fun for me, but I do think that would be. Have you pitched that idea to the people?
I don't go out having conversations with them.
No, like forums.
I mean, I put it out there in the public space, but
that's what I'm asking. Like, have you forumed? I'm a big thing about forums.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't follow the PvE forums as much as I do the PvP, but I'm a big fan of tell people on the forums because I feel like players know what they need. That actually is a really smart idea. They wouldn't have to create if they're struggling, if that's the issue here right now, is they're struggling because they don't know what traits to put in there. You already have a system built in.
Yeah, I mean,
gave everybody legendaries for an entire expansion. Legendaries were coming out of the sky.
Yeah,
so,
I mean, you take the top 2 or 3 effects for all the classes, put them in the chest piece or something like that. Put in the utility effects, put them in the head, put in the medium area effects, put them all on the shoulders, right? So maybe you're not going to be able to have the 2 legendaries that have hyper synergy with each other, but you're going to be able to have something, right? Yeah. You can have varying levels of value.
And a little bit of, I don't really know that there's any kind of uniqueness in play style, especially at the higher tiers. I feel like everybody does the same thing because it's the rule, right? That's what you do, and it's just known that if you're X, you need to be doing Y, Z, and all the other things. I don't feel like there's a whole lot of uniqueness there. Play style, yes, but gear, stats, most of that stuff is pretty
cookie.
It's pretty cookie at the top tiers because these guys have already figured it out. They don't need to figure out and test stuff.
Well, it's also kind of a progression, right? So whenever we were early in the expansion, we only had a specific amount of legendaries that were available to us. We say, okay, this is how we're going to play, and we're all going to be cookie cutter. Then the new tier comes out, and this is what they really can do with it. It's like, well, I understand your point about Azerite traits being, that they're just going to say, oh, everyone's going to play the same thing eventually. But that's the nicest thing about it, is that once you're done with that tier, you move on, and now you have a new quote-unquote tier of bonuses that are going to be made available to you. That way, you're able to move on from that, get some new bonuses, and slightly edit your playstyle. Because as it stands right now, if the Azerite traits all end up being like X% additional damage or healing or whatever, you're going to play the exact same way for the next year and a half. No changes whatsoever unless the trinkets are like ridiculously impactful, right? Yeah. You're going to play exactly the same, not feel any differences, not feel any boosts anywhere.
What if they added trinkets that maybe amplified Azerite traits?
I mean, again, we haven't seen it,
Yeah.
So we haven't seen anything that would lead me to believe that we're going to actually have reasonable changes from the way we play before we get raid gear, when we get the first tier of raid gear, when we get the second tier of raid gear.
And it should be ever changing, I think.
At least a little bit.
Yeah, subtle changes, yeah.
Especially as
because we don't have set bonuses to stir the pot.
If you're working the higher tier stuff too, especially, I think there should be, I've always believed that there should be a tangible difference between the top and the bottom, because there should be. I, as a heroic raider, don't expect the same advantages from the gear that Mythic players have because they worked hard for it, and I worked hard for my own, but I like that there is a noticeable difference between tiers, and I like that you have the ability to know, okay, this guy really, like when you're an LFR and you know who the Mythic guy is, you don't even have to look at his gear, you already know that he's Mythic and he's in there probably doing some stuff for a quest. I like that people have that, that difference there. I think this need for the newer generation of players who want everything handed to them and who get upset that they have to go into X tier to be able to get X gear. Well, I mean, that's the way the cookie crumbles, guys. You want, you have to work hard for what it is you want. And if you don't have time, don't do it, because that's not our fault you don't have time. It's not Blizzard's fault you don't have time to do higher level things. I don't have time to do them. That's why I don't even bother. I don't even care. I do my heroic and I walk away happy. I'm a heroic mediocre raider, and I'm okay with that. It's good for me. Well, I know there was just a new build up, so you might want to check that out. Jack, there was a new build that came up, I think, as we were in conversation earlier.
Oh, that's right.
And they added stuff to the UI for the traits, so, or for the necklace UI. So maybe
that'd be awesome. And again, like what we're talking about, this is just, you know, yeah, it'd be nice. Like this is what the concerns that I have at least sprout from just not knowing yet, right? You know, we got another like 2 or 3 months coming out before, you know, everything is live. So, you know, I feel like we might as well get those kind of concerns out now. And if it at the end of the podcast I get on a beta, I'm like, oh, okay, like everything, you know, seems to be addressed and awesome. You know, I'm still glad I at least, you know, talk about it. But yeah, that's the thing that happens to me. I mean, they also go live with actually this time yesterday. They put out disc priest changes like, you know, 9:30 at night. Blizzard HQ, the class design people are like, oh yeah, it's like let me post the thing that we worked on and let's go over this, right? So it's just like, oh okay, but hey, they're still iterating.
They're random in their processes for sure. I think it's good, and I think the players in beta that are, I do particular things in beta, and that's what I look for, and I like to help, you know, out on the forums when it comes to that stuff. But you can't really be the master of many, so I stick in my little lane of what, you know, are my things. But I think it's nice that you know, the guys that really know what they're talking about when it comes to each element gets in there and tests and gives really good solid feedback, because I feel like if we don't, we're going to be dealing with Draenor again, right? It's scary. With great power comes great responsibility, guys. I went on a rant when everybody got alpha. And everybody was streaming. There was a ton of streamers, but nobody was, like, addressing what they were doing. They weren't filling out the box. They weren't putting in bug reports. They weren't doing any of that stuff. I guess you can't really do that in stream, but I was like, guys, you have alpha. Please make it better. Don't just sit there and cry about it. Like, give logical, good, solid feedback on the forums. And don't say cuss words in your forum posts, guys. They'll ban you. Even if your
thoughtful response is just thrown out the window.
Even if it is logical, well thought out, and step by step, here is the expectation. Here's what's actually happening. Here's what should be happening. It was the best thing I'd ever written. And they banned me for, I get a 24-hour ban. I said the F word.
That's unwholesome.
Yeah, I was in Draenor, and I had enough with destruction situations in PvP, and I had another person tell me, oh, you can't RPG with us because you're not Affliction. Yeah. I spent a lot of time on this post to let them know, like, here are the things that you did, and I know you're aware that you did them. Fix your shit, because I can't deal with this anymore. And then the changes with the Embers, when they brought back the way that those were generated, and when they brought back soul shards and made it where if you put in a lot of work, you got that effort back because it gave it to you in your shards, which you need to give it again. So it meant people that really knew what they were doing and worked their rotation are going to be rewarded the most with the higher damage because they'll be able to output more. But if you're not working your rotation and you're expecting the soul shards to just attach to you, well, you're not the guy that anybody's going to take to their non-fun raid.
Well, that's what you want with any class or any role, is what you put into that rotation.
Right. It should be, you should have to work hard for it.
Yeah.
You should have to work it. You shouldn't be able to just open your eyes and play a class with very minimal effort and have all the things right away. It should be thoughtful, and you should have to learn.
So not Death Knight.
Right, but I can't play Death Knights. A lot of people out of the box can play a Death Knight. I still can't be top damage as a Death Knight. I don't really understand melee, though.
Well, Unholy is actually more complicated than it was before, but
Did you say
Frost,
Unholy?
Unholy, sorry, I mumbled.
I heard Unholy. I feel like Unholy might be...
But no, Frost. Just hit the flashing buttons. Call it good.
Easy.
Syndragosa, AoE, go.
Syndragosa, AoE. Many whelps handle it. I feel like my Twitch chat shut off again. All right, so I can't believe nothing makes you rage.
Yeah, we'll see. Like,
when was the last time you went just ape shit over something in game? Like, I need real.
Like, fuck that guy.
Don't be the nice guy. This isn't your
I'm
Twitch
wholesome.
channel,
I'm a
so you get to
wholesome
be a
streamer.
whole different,
All right.
like, you get to be the guy that is just...
I'm wholesome, all right?
You
Yeah,
are
I
like the
mean-
boy next door.
Wouldn't that be unwholesome?
But, like, there's nothing you've ever just, like...
I mean, like, I've had, like, you know, weekly heroic runs or something like that where, like, someone doesn't listen and I'm just like, all right, well, I'm just going to boot you out of the group or something
Thank
like that.
you for
know?
not being a nice
So-
guy. That's what I needed. I needed to know that you're human, Jack. I needed to
Yeah.
know that you have an
Oh,
emotion.
I mean, yeah, I mean, I'll stand by that. It was like, hey, bring thing here. It's like they didn't bring thing here. I'm like, oh, let's try this again. Bring thing here. Like, nope. All right, well, let's try this whole new tank thing again. So, I don't know.
Have you ever
Like-
just, like, completely had a meltdown?
Not on
somebody?
stream or not.
You're
Probably
the guy
not.
that has perfect control.
Well, what about like when you first started playing?
Maybe early when I was like 16, 17 or something like that. Maybe.
Like,
but yeah,
like there
usually-
wasn't like this quest that was like, God damn it, where am I supposed to go? Or
Oh, you're talking about like yelling at somebody or like yelling in private?
No, I
'Cause
want to know
like-
that you yelled at a person. Because
Oh.
everybody yells at the monitor because that's what gamers do.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
how we
yeah.
are. But I want to know that you are not, in fact...
Doing Mage Tower at like 900 eye level was kind of rage inducing. That was pretty rage inducing. Once I got that done, I was very happy. But
This
Have-
year
having
I'm
Twi-
gonna...
having Twitch chat alongside you is not always the best option.
gonna
You're learning new things.
I'm gonna make it a point to try to see what I could do to get you to rage.
No thanks. No thanks. Gotta be wholesome.
I just want you to lose it once. It's so freeing when you just get to just everything.
I got
You
my-
just
I got my
Just gotta-
zen going on.
gotta open the bottle sometime.
yes, it's like a good reset. I've been doing really well. I let it build up, and
I
then
can see. I can see.
Yeah,
somebody will mention something that was a previous emotional, like I had an emotional problem with it, and yeah. There was one where I was so mad that I think I had tears in my eyes because I was pissed off. Oh, guys, passion is just that, passion. I was going to do like a full rundown on the tournament that happened this weekend. Here's the thing, guys. So on Sunday, there was actually so much emotion happening with the tournament that I stayed off social media for a reason. Because I can't embarrass Method, otherwise they're going to kick me out. So I just said it's probably in Scott's best interest if I don't tweet as the things are happening. It was a lot of ups and downs. Method was so close. Orange was so close. They fought back from the lowers bracket, and they were like, I could feel it. And they lost 4-3 to the move. It hurt me in ways that I can't describe. But, I mean, they put on a really good show. It was good TV. I think their ability to be in the lowers bracket pretty much every single tournament and leave in not the lowers bracket is like astounding. And they have Sam I Am now, and I think that was kind of what they were missing, and I'm pretty excited about that. And then Rem, you had mentioned I forget what team you had mentioned, but you were talking about Smexon and Colo.
yeah.
The remnants of the previous Method Black. Played pretty good. I like Smex. Smex is a really stellar warrior. He's got a lot of good sneaky things in his little undercarriage toolkit thing. I don't know what it's called. And Colo, he's really young. But even at Colo's age, and the fact that last year was his first like huge tournament experience, flashback to when Belle cried like a baby in front of Colo. Literally crying, sobbing, hugging him. His mother's crying. I'm crying. That is not professional Belle when you have a full meltdown because you're
On topic but off topic. Why would he have his name Colo? That's too close to Kulo.
We've
Like,
already
he's
talked
not.
about this. We talked
I
about
know,
this all
but it
of
still
last
bugs
year.
me.
I don't know. Super rejects. That's right, Ange. Yeah, I love him. I think he's awesome. I like his mom, and I love that his mom is like his biggest fan. Like, she's literally his biggest fan. She bakes him cookies with whatever team he's on's logo. Like, I love her. I want to be that mom someday. Well, I don't really have the patience for baking, so maybe not that mom, but a version of that mom.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, it was really, really good. And we have EU next week. which is Cup 2, right? I didn't check. I'm pretty sure it's Cup 2.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
That's right.
I'm excited because I get to see my Method Black team, which hopefully they'll kill it. I don't know. They got the people they need to be able to make it happen, so it's good things nonetheless. Rem.
Is my boy still on the brackets?
I don't know what boy is that, because you're gonna make me be really. You're gonna make me embarrass myself in front of company. Which boy is that, Rem?
Jamili.
Yeah, he's a little bitch. Anyway, moving on. I knew he was going to do that. He does that every time. He does it on purpose because he wants me to say my opinion, and it's not nice to say that about people.
I mean, he is, but he's a talented.
He's a skilled player. You have to give people credit, right? He's got them skills to pay the bills.
He's an instigator. I love it.
You know who I really like, though, and I didn't think that I was going to really like him? I really like Rub Cub. I think he's really flourishing, and he's kind of showing a little bit of his killer instinct. I was super proud of his play this week. I think people underestimate him because he's a little young, and I think they kind of think, oh, like, we can just kind of rake all over him, but he's... I've seen some play that was super surprising this weekend. I meant to grab highlights of it, but I'm sure you guys have already seen it. Good stuff, though. I think it's going to be a pretty interesting. I don't even have any idea what we're going to see at BlizzCon. I have no idea. Not even the slightest clue. Last year, I think like I had already my, here's who it's going to be competing.
Yeah.
I mean, I have an idea, but I don't know really. Anything can happen. I'd like NA to win, though. Can we get an NA win? Anybody? Can NA ever
Bueller?
win? Jack, I'm going to ask you a question before we move on to Rem's Priest lore. Why do you think EU wins at everything they do over us Americans? Now, I know the answer to that, but I'm curious as to
it's all about practice. It's all about practice.
Now, would you say that that's because we as Americans maybe a little less, would you call us lazy a little bit in that regard?
No, I wouldn't say it's lazy. I think it's complicated and like getting everybody on at the same time to be able to get practice. I mean, we saw it a lot of times at the MDI where you had teams on EU that were doing like 10 to 14-hour days, just constantly grinding, whereas some of the NA teams, well, two parts of it. Some of the NA teams like had to replace players because they weren't even showing up for their like 5 or 6 hours of practice or whatever it was, right? Obviously not every team was bad at practicing or anything like that, but it showed like every single European team was like practicing like crazy hours, and every single European team, to my knowledge at least, replaced a player going into the tournament where they said, hey, no hard feelings, but we're going to get this guy in because it's going to give us the best opportunity to win. Or, they, all these European teams doing whatever they can to actually get any kind of competitive advantage to it, whether or not that might be a little bit heartless or not, just to make sure that they're going to be able to win. Whereas I don't know exactly how, some of the team dynamics might have worked in US, but I don't think there was really that many replacements going on between teams, So I think part of it definitely can come down to practice, how much time people want to actually dump into making sure they perfect something. While not, raging, while not getting on top of each other on, silly things.
Mm-hmm.
Why does EU practice more than the US? I want to hear you say it, Jack. Just say it. Say what we're all thinking, because we all know. Say it.
More dedicated to it, or more interested in it, have more free time.
No, I think I've always thought this. I do think that the other side of the world is just a whole different beast when it comes to competition and refining what they do. And that's no dig. I'm American, so I'm not insulting Americans, but I do feel like I think I don't know. I don't even know that you would call it a cultural thing, because it's such a big span, that side of the world, right? Because it's not just one location. Like, it's a huge span of people in different cultural backgrounds. But I just feel like that side of the world, they have something in them that we don't have, or as a group we don't have. There are the people that does have that, but I think as a whole, it's just a whole different breed of dedication and what they're willing to do to be able to make happen, because it's across all games. It's not just World of Warcraft, it's all the games. Like, it's typically the non-American players that are better.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen a lot of Australian teams for MDI, right, that were putting in ridiculous hours. And I think a couple of the Aussie teams had, like world best times from the tournament, right, where they're way ahead of their other opponents in that. So you know, I think part of it is just the dedication that comes into it. You know, other distractions that are going to be going on around. So there's a lot of stuff going on.
American boys are probably more distracted by things like girls and tacos than, you know, European boys, I feel like. It's been something that's fascinated me for a while, and I've talked about it probably for the last 2-3 years on the show, my fascination with the difference, especially my side of the world, which is the PvP world. Like, EU crushes it at BlizzCon, and you see the same looks on both sides' faces, but EU just has a little bit more and is a little bit more composed and all of those things. So it's one of those things where I'm trying to get to the bottom of it. I'm on a mission. I'm on a quest. Yeah. We're going to have to analyze the DNA difference between the two. But I think it makes for good. I think mixing them together makes for good TV. Because then you have, I think what happens with the players who don't practice as much, they have the fight or flight and they have the killer instinct moments where you know you might not be as good as your opponent because they have the practice and you don't. But I think sometimes when people are backed into a corner, that kind of depends on the personality, but it can really push them to perform. So I feel like that's when the upsets happen and the underdogs win because they were not expected to win, which I think is good. That's good TV. You can't make that stuff up live. And as you're casting, Jack, you can't make that up.
Yeah.
Maybe you could.
Most definitely.
All right. Rem, we have time for some priest stuff. I think in honor, right? In honor of Jack being here, weren't you going to hit him with some priest knowledge that he may or may not? Are you a lore guy, Jack?
Pick it up here and there.
So you're not like me, where Rem has to tell you all the lore so that you know the story because you didn't start paying attention until last expansion.
I pick it up here and there. I'm not an avid reader.
I like pictures. I like
Gotta
videos.
Get that picture books.
I like videos.
So you play priest on the Horde, but what race do you play typically?
Yo, you need it. It's top tier for M+ and extra mana, extra crit. It's great.
Wait, what did you say? I missed it.
You get it's top tier for M+.
What is that? I didn't hear what you said.
Oh, Blood Elf Arcane Torrent.
Oh,
the racial.
I should have stayed muted.
Yikes.
You're so pretty, though. Blood elves are so pretty. Are you a chick?
Yeah, you know it.
Yeah, I would rather look at a female butt than a male butt. So I get it. Okay, Go ahead, Ram. I'm sorry I interrupted.
Well, in that case, I will talk a little about blood elves and how they use the light. So all different classes, all different races around Azeroth and beyond interpret the light in a different way. But it's all mechanically in-game works the same, but thematically and story-wise, they are actually using a completely different system in terms of the way they are. Yeah, their source, the way they're using it. Like the trolls are looked as more like a witch doctor or a shaman because they are using the Loa, which are technically wild gods. And then blood elves, they have gone topsy-turvy a little bit. They used the Sunwell. They used the energy from Anaru for a little bit. They were a little bit dark in that regard. But in terms of priests, actually, for like Warcraft 3 storylines, where it was like the second war and the third war, Blood Elf priests were looked as more as the priestly instead of humans. The humans were the more hardy and ready to kick some ass kind of thing. But the Church of the Holy Light is all around Azeroth, and that is a focal point from the humans. Lancesfal, Benedict, what's his nuts?
Archbishop Benedictus.
Yeah, Benedictus. So all light stems from the Naru. It's been theorized that maybe Iranar could be a loon, or a loon is this new entity that we'll be dealing with. And actually might be able to see some of that with BFA because we're going to be talking with Azeroth and Magni quite a bit. But the gnome priests are actually a thing now because of their friends, the dwarves, all the paladins up in Ironforge. They don't really consider themselves priests. They're like doctors because they like science. Tauren priests were during Kata, during the Sundering. They worship Mushu and Anshi, but they actually...
I'm sorry, did you say Mushu?
Yeah. And Anshi, they are the eyes of the Earth Mother. And so they worship it beforehand, but you have the Sun Priests and the Sunwalkers, Sunwalker Dizo, or whatever his name is. Can't recall his name, but he was in the Crossfiring Wilds.
Yeah, and Anduin brought the light to him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so their view of the light is Anshi, holy fire, pretty much in that regard. And you have the Night Elves worship Elune. They're more of the power of the stars, borderline arcane in that regard. Forsaken are usually that actually cripples, but it burns their insides to use the light because they're dead. The light purges dead things, and so facto, not good.
I feel like that was an opportunity for me to say a joke. But I might have missed that opportunity because I was trying to be super interested in the priest stuff. Question mark. Which blood elves are the guys that have the? It's like a whorehouse. Where do you when you go in there? Which ones?
Oh, what is it called? The chamber, not the.
I don't know, but it's the place I'm trying to be. So.
But somewhere in Black Temple and Silver Moon is where you're gonna find those blood elves.
Yeah, I thought, wow, what a bunch of dirty people. And then
The concubines of Illidan.
Concubines. I was thinking charlatans. I was like, what the hell?
The concubines of Illidan.
He's got to get his
rocks off somehow. Yeah.
Well, so I want to make sure, Jack, that I give you life advice. And my life advice to you, because you are super wholesome, you remind me a lot of Rem. Rem is very much, he's the nice guy. I'm the not nice one of the two of us. But my advice to you is when you're dealing with concubines and you're dealing with paying for services, you are paying them to leave. So don't feel bad if you have to pay for that specific service, because I feel like it provides a great service to the world.
It makes a whole lot more. It makes a lot more sense than you think. You're paying them to leave, not for the service.
Yeah, you're paying them to leave you alone so that you don't have that drama and distraction and baggage. But I want you to have all that knowledge. And with you being a very busy man, I feel like you should know that it is okay to pay for those services.
All right.
Poor Jack. He's like, God. She's the worst. I'm not appropriate, Jack. I've behaved myself the whole show. So you knew that there was going to be the weird would come out. Eventually you would hear the real me. In closing the show, next week is not going to be a show on Thursday. So I know you guys are going to be super sad. There's not going to be a show on Thursday.
This is news to me.
Yeah, there's going to be a show on Sunday. And it's going to be like 12 o'clock in the afternoon PST time, because we are making special accommodations for the two people that we've been trying to schedule in on their specific day. So that announcement will be out like Monday or Tuesday. You guys probably already know who it is because I gave you guys hints 2 weeks ago. We'll see if you figure it out, but we did confirm. So next week's show is going to be, what is that, June 3rd? Let me see. Yeah, so June 3rd on Sunday. It will be in the afternoon. Look for the, Angie will post that up on Monday or Tuesday with that announcement. But there's two of them, okay? 2. So you guys guess. If you could guess on Twitter, you win. But they did confirm, and we are making it happen. So, Jack, where can people find you on the internet?
Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, everywhere. Just, at Automatic Jack.
FetLife? No?
What's that?
FetLife? Is that a thing? Do you FetLife, Jack?
No.
No? Oh, okay. I was just checking. That's okay. Christian Mingle? I don't know. I'm trying to stay hip with the youngsters. No, none of that.
Afraid not.
Afraid not. You're not.
Not that kind of priest.
You're not. You're not on FarmersOnly.com. Got it. What if you were? That would be great. He's gonna be like, "How did she know?" Just kidding. Anything you want to talk about for people to pay attention to? Anything you have going on that you want people to
Yeah, the MDI LAN is going to be the end of June. It's going to be the 21st to the 23rd, I believe. So it's going to be almost a month, almost exactly a month from now. It's going to be, sorry, 22nd to the 24th. So I'll be part of the casting, commentating crew and stuff like that. Going down there, it's going to be in Columbus, Ohio. So all the teams from all over the country, or all over the world rather, are be flying into Ohio for the MDI, and also just constant streams just at Automatic Jack. And I'll be covering basically all the healers going into BFA. Working on class guides, working on just breakdowns of how they're performing as new builds and new buffs and nerfs and stuff like that are going out.
Now, if I roll a horde, will you carry me through some stuff, Jack? That's the question before I let you go.
Ooh, I mean, usually do our free ahead of the curve runs with Perky Pugs on Mondays on my stream. So
I did promote that last week, actually, or the week before.
There you go. There you go.
That.
And we just finished a number of our streamers on the team finished their St. Jude St. Jude charity streams. So we raised over $20,000 across all our different streamers.
That is like amazing, honestly, for gamers. I like it.
A lot of different streamers have been on the team and been really putting a lot of hours and stuff into it. It's been amazing.
You streamers are a different breed, man. I've not yet figured you guys out. One day I will. I tried. I get yelled at because I don't stream. I try really hard, but it's not my thing. I like watching others. It's just not. It's not
for
my.
everybody.
Like being the creeper through the window. Copy.
I should probably stream more because then I wouldn't have to try to shove everything into a tiny space in the show. But hey, thanks for coming on the show. It was a little.
Thank you for having me on.
It was a little bit unorthodox.
I'm glad another
excuse
fun person was around. Also, priest.
Expect many more on the MDI,
Yeah, I'm excited, and I watch it. I don't pay attention, but I do give it a view, and I support it because we need to support it. The more people that watch, the more Blizzard will do it. So,
yeah, exactly.
I do watch some of it, but it's not. I don't watch all of it. But I do. I always give it a view. It's always up on my computer. I always give it a view, and I tweet so people will give it a view too. So we'll watch you. We'll stalk you. I'll make you feel awkward. We'll tweet weird stuff to you. Guys, I was on my best behavior tonight, so I hope somebody can give me a kudos somewhere. I commented on all the YouTube comments. I got caught up, guys. I apologize. But we are going to get out of here and let Jack go do secret Jack things. I don't know. It's probably streaming, right? Are you streaming? Is that what's happening?
Oh, no. I'm done for the night with streams.
Is it a girl? You can tell me.
Fred is a bald man. Sorry.
I mean, that's what you're into. I don't judge.
Yep.
The ball. I want to make that weird, but I can't because I'm sure it's like your dad or your grandpa or somebody, and I just can't do it. I physically can't handle doing that because I respect parents. Well, you go do non-weird. I'm not going to make it weird, guys. I swear. I'm trying to bow out of this. Thanks for coming on. We'll have to have you back when we're more organized and I'm not a total psycho. But yeah, thanks for hanging out. Guys, go follow. This will be up on the YouTube, the iTunes, and all the Spotifys and everything tomorrow. If you are listening to this on the audio version, make sure you go over to YouTube or head over to pwnecast.tv to check that out. Also, guys, Kickstarter. We're 61% and we have like 36 days left. Let's make it happen. If you have the means to donate or back the Kickstarter, go ahead over to the Kickstarter. And I mean, I post the link every 5 minutes, so you're going to have it. And if you don't have the means, sharing is considered support. So sharing the Kickstarter is considered support. But we're going to go ahead and get on out of here, guys, because Jack's got a date.
About that time.
Yeah, he's got a date. But we love you, guys. Thanks for spending your... Wow, we had a long episode today. Yeah, we're going to get out of here before I make it any
I'll
later.
see you there or see you in another time.
I knew he was going to say that. Go follow Jack on Twitter if you don't already. Because, you know, he's got really good MDI selfies from behind the desk. They're pretty.
You should get one of those Light Me or whatever you got, the Limu.
The what? It's,
I don't know.
Well, oh, you know. Okay, since we're rolling after credits now, so we got about. I can get you for another 10 seconds.
Okay.
I got what I've always wanted in life. Don't make fun of me, Jack.
Oh, the little like lighting and stuff for selfies.
I did.
Oh,
And
that's
I don't
cool.
even have any shame. I have zero shame. My husband's like, why did you buy that? Why don't you mind your own business? Why are you judging me? I bought it for selfies in the dark because I take potty selfies at night. And
There you go.
I don't have any shame. None at